Okay, so in episode 1 of the entire Deathstroke build, doing the full armour, you're going to see everything related to do with the helmet. I've got various works in progress, you might see some of it in the background, but first episode you're going to see just stuff around the helmet. There'll be bits from complete beginners to people who might be a bit more advanced, but this is not exactly a tutorial, it's about the process and a beginner, me, trying things out for the first time a lot of the time. You're going to see wins, you're going to see fails, you're going to see problems that I've not been able to solve and problems I have solved. You're going to learn the mistakes that I've made, so hopefully if you're doing the same, you don't come across it, you can avoid it, you know what to expect. So stay tuned. Episode 1, we're going to talk about the helmet. Later episodes, we're going to talk about the armor pieces, and if you comment in the video, in future episodes, I can answer those comments. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them based on my limited knowledge. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Okay, so let's talk about sizing and scaling. So first thing you want to do is, obviously, you acquire the file. Once you've acquired the file, then you scale it to size. You could do the whole helmet, but then you risk wasting a hell of a lot of filament. So what I do is an orca slicer, I'll slice off a bit of the helmet. So over here I did a dovetail cut, but that's not important. So I've got the nose, we've got the eye here. Does it fit on properly? It's a little bit snug by the ears, I can feel a little bit there. And obviously it's not fitting pretty well without me holding onto it because it's not the whole helmet, but I can see quite well over here. What I did beforehand was I measured my noggin. So I did circumference of the head, and I also used these cosplay calipers on an Uncle Jesse video. So downloaded that off Maker World and measured the side to side here, and it's on an Excel file or Google Sheet. So I printed this off first. I think there's about 130 grams. I pay typically £8 to £12 a kilo, so call it £10. This probably cost £1, and it would have saved me a lot of money and time. Okay, supports. Is that a layer shift here? Oh dear. Not bad. This fits pretty well. So this was a 24-hour print. The other half I think was 19 hours. The orientation was a bit different. I had to split these files. So now there is still some support in here, so this side may not fit properly. So it took maybe 5 minutes to slice this visor, headband, strip, whatever you want to call it. Let's call it the testing strip or sizing strip. That took 5 minutes for me to do. Would take you less or more depending on your experience level. I'm very new to this. This is going to be my second helmet. So we've got the scale, we've done the print, we then need to remove the supports. Once we remove the supports, then we need to weld it together. So we're going to weld these parts together. And it may seem a bit daunting, but it's just a soldering iron. And I bought a cheap one a few years ago, and it still works. So you just sort of smear it together. So if you imagine watching a toddler paint, they're going to mix all the colours and everything's going to look fucking brown. But yeah, you basically just welding these lines together. But you'll see that soon. Future Kirt here. Just wanted to show how it looks like before any post-processing. Time to remove the spots. Let's see if I can do any by hand. These are the normal spots. For those who are eagle-eyed, you probably would have seen that horrendous layer shift. Now that did cause a lot of problems later on, and I wish I just reprinted it, in all honesty. But mistakes happen, and with all the headache I had trying to fix things later on, I now know I will just reprint it. Okay, yeah, so basically the supports were an absolute ball ache to remove. I think it was tree and slim, and it was a bad idea. If I changed the orientation, I probably wouldn't have needed the supports there. If I'd done it vertically, I probably could have done it at the back, but this is Future Kirt speaking with future knowledge. But future episodes you'll have better insight on a better way of how to do things. Okay, so we are multitasking, baby monitor in the background. Yes, I know the floor is a shit tip. So we are connecting the two halves together. Put some painter's tape on here, frog tape, whatever you want to call it. Probably a bit of overkill, but I had 2 clamps. And yeah, we've got this lined up nicely. Next step is to use a soldering iron and weld it together. Okay, so we are waiting for the soldering iron to heat up. We have the respirator ready and we have the helmet here. I won't be able to speak and you guys make out what I'm saying when I've got the respirator on. So yeah, we'll do a quick overhead style shot while I'm doing the soldering. Video editor here, my dumbass forgot to record it properly, so I've just got footage of me fucking around before I actually solder. And this is the finished result. Video editor here, basically I'm talking about the iMesh, which I did a heat gun and shaped it, but I ended up just not bothering with that in the end. It looks better without, and visibility is reduced in the final build anyway, so that would have just made things impossible to see through. So yeah, welding was done, things are looking pretty clean on the outside, inside looks a bit messy, but it is what it is, I'm happy. So yeah, the layer shift caused headaches, used the soldering iron, tried to smooth that over, then hide it with primer. It's getting there, but it was a lot of work, I should have just started from scratch. Okay, so where we are at with the Deathstroke helmet is I've sanded it down to like 600, thought put some primer on it. I've put some black on it as well, but I'm not quite happy with how it looks. So some bits are okay, but then other bits, especially here, they look awful. So I need to sand that a lot more. Potentially, if I'm fed up with sanding, what I could do is I could print off a strip of, oh no, what I could do is I could use carbon fibre vinyl and sort of hide that, and it would make a nice sort of effect here as well. So if the sanding and painting doesn't look great, then I'll probably do carbon fibre vinyl on that bit and see how that goes. So nothing to it now, but to get on with small wet sanding. Dry sanding, I would put a mask on, a respirator, but I'm going to wet sand and take it from there. So for those who don't know, I'm wet sanding here. I'm dipping it in some water, going again. Maybe I should have cleaned it a bit better with a cloth before each bit, but the end result turned out good. So I'm happy with how it ended up. But yeah, I quite like wet sanding. There's something quite satisfying about it compared to dry sanding, but maybe I'm just weird. Okay, so time to clean this off. So get like a microfiber cloth, clean that down, and maybe I put some UV resin and use like a UV torch and cure it that way and go over it again, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, this is at 1800. I feel like most of it's looking better. It's just this bit here which looks a bit like ass. So yeah, I want to sort this out and then it'll be time to prime it again. And I'm starting to use an airbrush, never used it before. Got TimberTech one for about 75 quid. Got some cheap paints as well. So hopefully that'll give me a better finish than my spray paint capabilities, because I don't seem to be that good with the spray can. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So public service announcement, just make sure you're gloved up, respirator, ventilated area, and yeah, this could sting depending on the type of resin you use, but it really speeds up the process. It makes things so much nicer to work with compared to just primer, sanding, filling. Now onto the airbrush, and this is the primer from the Vallejo range, and yeah, it's giving a nice matte finish. And I just thought, first time using this, if I do primer, there's not much pressure, there's no details. If it splatters everywhere, it's not a big deal. So this is me just trying to warm up, practice, get good at this. Obviously you can see another helmet, there's the Mando helmet. There's no video on that, it was basically a gift for my sister. So at the start of the video I said it was going to be the second helmet, but I've finished the Mando helmet. It looked pretty good for what I'm happy with. And then yeah, this is the third helmet, the Deathstroke 1 Black Ops style from Budwin on Maker World. So yeah, things are going good with the priming, but it doesn't look so good later on. So a lot of you guys have been wondering about my air spray booth. Yeah, basically it's a cardboard box. Yeah, it's ghetto as fuck, but it works. This is in the utility room, have the windows open, and yeah, it stings up for like the whole day. So it's primed, you've got the gloss black on the Mando in the background, and then we are going to go on to airbrushing. We've got the cadmium orange from Vallejo again, no that's wrong, from Liquitex. So yeah, spraying this through, advice is to do very small layers, very thin layers, very light layers, and yeah, it just looks shit. I'm getting a bit impatient, I spend a long time doing it and it looks like ass. Okay, so this is my first proper airbrushing attempt, and I probably filled this up maybe 2/3 of the way full, and we're pretty much empty now. I have been going for an hour and 15 minutes. First time, apart from priming, trying to do airbrushing. So this should be a cadmium orange. With the lighting it might be a bit hard to distinguish. Can we focus? But yeah, basically it looks shit. It's been a very frustrating process, and I don't think the colours match up. Again, on camera it might be quite hard to tell. The problem is I don't know where I've gone wrong. There's YouTube videos, there is the Facebook groups, well, one Facebook group which is supposed to be for beginners, but everything's over my head. Issue is I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and I think me trying to watch YouTube videos isn't going to really help. I think it's just going to be a case of doing it or practicing on paper or card, that's what people say. But yeah, there's inconsistent bits here. There's something called, I don't think it's called like spider webbing, where something's too watery. So I've tried to mix it up as best as I can, but I'm pretty tired. I'm a bit fed up in all honesty, and I don't want to sound negative, but the whole point of this is to document the process, the highs, the lows, the frustrations. This is what the channel's about. So right now it does not look fucking cadmium orange, it looks shit. There's inconsistent layers. The spider webbing bit is kind of gone. When I look up close, it's not that good. I have put it on thicker in some areas, but I have to think, how long have I actually put into airbrushing? I have airbrush primed this and I wasn't quite happy with it, so I went over with a spray paint. I think I'm probably about 3 to 4 hours or less into airbrushing. I have no business complaining. It's something totally new to me. It's kind of like saying, oh, I'm not good at driving and I've spent 3 to 4 hours. So that's what I've got to try and bear in mind. What I'll probably do is call it a day, clean this out, and come back to it another day after watching a couple more YouTube videos. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, this is the first session of airbrushing. The gloss has come out very nicely with this, and I'm excited for this to be finished. I'm excited to paint it, just not right now. And yeah, I want to put in the LEDs in this eye here, so a red LED there, and see if I've got space to put in a microphone and speaker system. So I'm trying to think about all the positives, but I'm excited to continue working on this, just not today. Future Kirt here. I'm so glad that I documented that. I was feeling really sorry for myself, pissed off, frustrated, but things are starting to come together. We've masked up the surrounding areas with a hand brush. We popped some black on there, and yeah, things are starting to come together. We put on a couple more layers, and it's gradually looking better. And yeah, quick clip here. We got black gloss, we got the cadmium orange. We then take off the masking tape. This is with some clear coat now, and that clear coat makes such a huge difference. I then think I did a high 3000 grit sand, very lightly, and then put another dab of clear coat on, and it is looking beautiful. So here's a final reveal. I'm very happy with how things have gone. We've put in the red LED light in there, and it's looking good. Next episode, we're going to talk about the speaker system and the other stuff for the whole build. So make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.